Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I'm your host, the voice of reason. So, in this episode, I wanted to talk about NATO. I wanted to talk about if, in fact, Turkey is a viable member of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. But I just don't want to pick on Turkey. There's some other states as well that I think we should look at in terms of viable NATO partners. So, first off, what does it take to become a member of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization? Well, it really just takes a desire to become a member. And then it also takes a unanimous decision by all member states of NATO to vote that said party into the alliance. But to join the alliance, nations are expected to respect the values of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization and to meet certain political, economic, and military criteria set out in the alliance's 1995 study on enlargement. These criteria include a functioning democratic political system based on market economy, fair treatment of minority populations, a commitment to resolve conflicts peacefully, and ability and willingness to make a military contribution to NATO operations, and a commitment to democratic civil military relations and institutions. So the big catchphrase would be Article 5, and that is if one member of NATO is attacked, that all members of NATO would then join in defending the nation, the member nation that was attacked. So let's look at a hypothetical scenario. Let's take, for example, if Estonia is now a member of NATO. And again, I just want to harken back to the 80s and 70s. This would have never even been in the farthest reaches of my imagination, where you would have seen Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania joining NATO. And the reason I say that is because I just don't think it's feasible to defend the Baltic states from the principal aggressor that NATO is designed to have a defense against, and that's Russia. Let's just face it, that is what NATO is designed for. It is a counterbalance against possible Russian expansion. So back to Estonia. So let's say the Russians move into Narva and seize an area of Estonia. Who is going to then enter the Baltic states to protect Estonia or even the rest of the Baltics against Russia? Is it even possible? Is it possible, given the current state of military spending in the NATO alliance, is it possible to defend the Baltic states against Russia? I have deep concerns about that, and I, at this point, do not believe it is possible. So if this move were made into Estonia or any other of the Baltic states, who is going to come to the aid? Who is basically going to declare war against Russia and chase the Russians out of the Baltic states? Their backyard. This is the Russians' backyard. We may like to call it NATO, but this is in the Russian sphere of influence. Who's going to do it? So I first look at Turkey, and the reason I look at Turkey is because Turkey probably has one of the most powerful militaries currently in NATO. And in terms of military capability, yes, the Turks are doing their part. But I do not believe that Turkey would come to the aid and enter into an armed conflict with Russia to protect Estonia. So then again, what is the purpose of this North Atlantic Treaty Organization? And I think we have to look at these states in terms of who would in fact participate in said defensive actions or counter offensive actions in the case of the Baltics. And even before said members are accepted into the organization, I think NATO should have looked at, can these states adequately be defended? And I think in the late 90s, I think that answer was probably yes. But the dynamics have now changed. It's different. It's not the same. So, the question is can these states even be defended? And right now, the answer is no. It's not possible. And would Turkey come to that aid? No, I don't believe they would. But at the same time, let's look at Germany. Would Germany, who is not spending what it probably should spend to protect Europe, would it come to the aid of the Baltics? No, I don't believe Germany would. I believe they would set it out. They would find a way not to proceed with Article 5. But then again, if that's the case, what is the purpose of Article 5? What is the purpose of NATO then? You have to ask that question. And what is the purpose of this expansion? And right now, the newest member that could join NATO in the very soon future is the Republic of Georgia, the birthplace of Joseph Stalin. I believe everyone knows that. Yeah, right here, Joe Stalin. And Georgia is going to become a member of NATO. So could Georgia be defended? Well, I think NATO could probably, if Turkey is an active partner, it's possible that Georgia could be defended. Again, if Turkey is an active partner, but would Turkey come to the rescue of Georgia? I don't know. I would say Georgia probably has a better chance of defense given the makeup of the terrain, the Caucasus Mountains, as opposed to the Baltic states. It's probably much easier for Russia to seize the Baltics than Georgia as an active member of NATO. But again, I can't be, and I don't think anyone would be certain that Turkey would come to the aid of either Georgia or the Baltic states, as would Germany, would even Spain. Would Spain come to the aid of some of these countries? I don't know. Hungary, given the current political situation in Hungary, I think you really have to look at who is going to send the assets under Article 5. I think Poland probably would. I think the United States in its current political climate would. I think the United Kingdom would probably do as much as it can. But again, they're facing some economic hardships and are getting rid of the Royal Marines. So and decreasing the size of its army. So again, I don't know just what they could do in terms of military capacity. And I think that the NATO alliance needs to be reevaluated, because if something were to happen, I think you would see that alliance crumble very quickly because of participants in the alliance not willing to obey Article 5.